All right, now for our feature story of the day. ARK Invest ups its 2030 Bitcoin price bull case scenario prediction to 2.4 million per Bitcoin. Let's break this baby down. And speaking of ARK Invest, shout out to their founder, the one and only Cathie Wood. That's right, Cathie Wood, always up to no good. In a good way. A billion-dollar asset manager giant ARK Invest has raised its bull case biddy price target from 1.5 million to 2.4 million by the end of 2030. And FYI, that's only 5 years out, broskies. Driven largely by the institutional investors and the biddy increasing acceptance as digital gold. ARK's bear and base scenarios for the price of the biddy were also bumped up. Bump it up. 500,000 and 1.2 million. I'll take it. ARK research analyst David Puel said, and I believe he's the creator of the Puel multiple, which we commonly use with TA. The new bear and the base targets were bumped up from ARK's 300,000 and 710 Bitcoin price predictions on February 11th. Another divine omen. February 11th, FYI, is my birthday. And of course, 11 is a divine omen, and they're up in their prices. I mean, I dig it. ARK's price projections were modeled on Bitcoin's total addressable market penetration rate, broskies. You gotta love to penetrate. The percentage of the Bitcoin total addressable market that it could capture in certain cases in the Bitcoin supply schedule. So here's the latest update. 2030 Bitcoin price target with ARK assumptions applied to the active supply. As you can see here, the 2030 price target active supply bear scenario is 500,000 per coin by 2030. The base case for the broskies, 1.2 million, and then the bull scenario, 2.4 million per coin. Now I'm going to compare JV's personal price targets, particularly for this cycle. My bear scenario is 222. My base case is 420, and my bull is 1.1 million, and Max Kaiser's bull scenario is 2.2 million per preload biddy, which is pretty much right in alignment with ARK Invest, only Max is anticipating that even sooner. Quoting Puel here from ARK. Institutional investment contributes to the most of our bull case. Puel estimated the Bitcoin would achieve 6.5% penetration rate, which is pretty modest, into the 200 trillion financial market in a best case scenarios, and that figure excludes gold. Now, what if we were to double those numbers and we achieve, let's hypothetically say 13%, we can double those price targets. Just FYI, it's all based on pretty standard numbers. Bitcoin's acceptance as digital gold was also a major contributor to the lofty estimate. Puel estimating that it could capture up to 60% of the gold's 18 trillion market cap. And now we know that gold hit a new all-time high. The market cap's closer to 22 trillion. And what if hypothetically we captured 80% or 90% of the gold market cap, which would send the Bitcoin roaring that much more? Who cares about a roaring kitty, a boring kitty? Not me. I'm for the bitty. I'm for the nippinator, fam. Bitcoin becoming a safe haven as emerging markets was the third largest contributor to the ARK 2.4 million bull case prediction at 13.5%. The Bitcoin use case has also the greatest potential for the capital accrual, according to Puel, pointing to the Bitcoin ability to protect the wealth, the ultimate store value, right? And you can't confiscate it from, and also from inflation and devaluation of the developing countries, keeping in mind all that fiat is being hyperinflated into zero. Nation state also and corporate Bitcoin treasury strategies such as the United States, China, Russia, etc., and Bitcoin financial services, now that the banks can custody the Bitcoin, buy and sell the Bitcoin, also factored into the ARK's Bitcoin price projections. And that news was official as of yesterday, April 24th. So as you can see here with the penetration rates, so it's all outlined there in their report. ARK's Bitcoin predictions are bold. 2.4 million price tag will send the Bitcoin market cap to just shy of 50 trillion. Today, we're not even 2 trillion, family. So assuming that the Bitcoin total supply will have reached 20 million by the end of 2030, and as we know, there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation, and they estimate 5-6 million are lost, gone, or stagnated forever, Laura. Now, a 49.2 trillion valuation would be also larger than the current gross domestic product of the U.S. and China combined. It also puts preload biddy in a good position to overtake gold as the world's largest asset, which it will, mark my words, only a matter of time, which currently boasts a market cap of 22.5 trillion. Now the gold hit a new all-time high this week. Even ARK's bear and base targets of 500,000 per coin and 1.2 million would mean Bitcoin needs to increase at a compounded annual growth rate of 32 and 53% by the end of 2030 at the top of the decade, a return that isn't achieved too often for assets that have already notched trillion-dollar valuations. divergence. But again, Bitcoin's its own beast on its own vector, and that's a fact, Jack. Since then, Bitcoin has recovered from the 2025 low of 74, soaring back as of today, back above 95 Gs, while the Trump administration has officially established the strategic Bitcoin reserve via the executive order, as well as the digital asset stockpile. And if you don't know now, you know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions. Do you agree, disagree with Cathie Wood's ARK Invest 2.4 million bull scenario for 2030? 1.2 base case, or 500,000 bear scenario? Let me know if you agree, disagree, and I'll read your comments out loud. And welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream.